Good morning, you guys. Good morning, good morning. How cool is it that we are all made of this beautiful energy? And how cool is it that it is controlled? Everything is controlled with our thinking. How cool is that? How cool, right? Like you could have been born anything. You, my friend, were born a human being. And when you are a human being, you have lots of things available to you that maybe your dog or your cat or your hamster or the plants that are also energy that live in your house don't have. You have access to it all. So today I want to talk to you about using your thinking to get whatever you want, because that's how it works. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's not so much of a secret. Okay, if you want to change something in your life, you must first start with the end in mind. Okay, in other words, don't think about your current circumstances. I know you're saying, what? Like, don't acknowledge what's actually in my bank account. Don't acknowledge the house I actually live in versus the one I want to live in, or don't acknowledge the POS car that I drive that it's not really the car I want to drive. Like, don't acknowledge that, Dylan. Yeah, it might be real and it might be true, but guess what you're going to keep driving, or guess what your bank account's going to keep looking like, or guess what your business is going to keep looking like, or guess what your relationships are going to keep looking like, or guess what your health is going to keep looking like if you keep thinking from that space, from your current situation. When you think from the current, you just end up with more of the same. You know that feeling of being stuck? That's what it is. You're thinking about your current circumstances, which are then, right? You're thinking from your current results, which is then setting up your thinking. You're going to think the same type of thoughts, which then sets up your vibration, which is your actions, right? Which then sets up your results. Crazy, right? Crazy. Instead, what I want you to do, I want you to put your imagination, kick it into high gear. And I want you to think your way into the conditions that you want. Your mind doesn't know the difference whether it's in front of you or whether it's in your imagination. It doesn't know the difference. That's the difference between you and your dog and the way you think. Okay? I'm not saying that you need to ignore your current results. It's impossible to do. Okay? But look at your present results. Don't get emotionally involved with them. Your bank account could say minus $500. That's the truth. You have negative $500 in your bank account. But don't get emotionally involved in it. Don't pour yourself into that. If you let that current fact control your thoughts, things are going to change. And then next month it's negative 1,000, and then it's negative 1,500. Oh, wait, just got a job. Wait, if you're like contract work or something, right? And okay, I'm back to zero. Woo! Ooh, wait, now I have $100 in my bank account, right? That's fine. You might be a little bit ahead, but it's not getting you what you actually want. You will not improve if you think from those current thoughts. So take your attention off what's currently going on and use your will. Again, another thing that you possess that other parts of the animal kingdom do not have, and focus on what you actually want. And then you let nature take its course, right? Remember, you live in a very orderly universe that was designed very strategically. Okay? Very strategically. And you get to work with that instead of against it. Right? We might look all different on the outside. We might get different results in the end. But make no mistake that we are all having access to the exact same tools to get us where we want to go. We are made from the exact same energy. Doesn't matter where you were born, what your current economic status is. You actually can't buy this. You can't. It's free. You have access to it right now. Right now. You're just not using it. Right? Andrew Carnegie, he said, any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin to come once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. Any idea. That means don't try to control how you're going to earn the income or get the health or get that relationship. Any idea you actually want will find its way to you in the most convenient and appropriate form available. That's because thinking starts as a creative process. And as humans, we think in images, right? And thinking, like actual thinking, not like the kind of thinking the majority of the population is doing, okay? Like real thinking creates an image, okay? And the image stirs up emotions, and then the emotions cause an action, and then the action sets up a reaction. So when you're thinking about what you want, rather than your current results, the reaction, that action reaction, step 4, it creates a new and improved result. I love this little visual. Helps me make sense of it all. Okay. Okay? Don't think from here. If you're letting your results set up your thoughts, you're just going to get more of the same. Okay? Start here instead. Think different thoughts, which will set up a new feeling, which will set up new actions, which will give you different results. That's what you want, yes? Different results? So stop thinking from your current bank account. Stop thinking from your current weight that's on your scale. Stop thinking from your current job that you despise. Stop thinking from, right? Like the current house that you live in or the current car that you drive in. Okay? Start a new train of thought, which will set up new feelings, which will set up new actions, which will get you new results. Literally, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. But that's what we do as humans, right? Or we'll go, oh God, that worked for me last time. For sure, that's going to work for me this time. That's not true. Right? You can start this process all over again by looking at a new result and then adopting and adapting to the changes that have occurred, right? So you start to get different results. You start the process all over again. It'll cause thinking different ideas, which will set up a new feeling, which will set up new actions, which will give you a different reaction, which is your result. And then you start over again, right? So right now, your goal might be to earn $50,000 a year, okay? Right now, if you're earning 40, 30, you're not thinking $50,000 thoughts. Start thinking $50,000 thoughts. It'll set up $50,000 feelings. You'll get emotionally involved with that. Then you'll start taking $50,000 actions, and that'll lead to your $50,000. Then you're like, shit, I just made $50,000. I think I'll amp this up a bit. I'm going to 100. Awesome. Now you're thinking $100,000 thoughts, which will set up $100,000 feelings because there's different things you can do with 100K versus 50. Yes? You might get emotionally involved with that. And then that sets up 100K actions. And then you're like, damn, I just made 100K. I think I'm going to bump that up. Let's make it 200. And the cycle starts over again, right? And your life keeps getting better and better and better and better. Or maybe it's not money, maybe it's health. Maybe you need to release 100 pounds. Okay, well, get it down. You need to start thinking thoughts of someone that's 100 pounds less. Then you'll start getting emotionally involved with that. What would that feel like if you released 100 pounds? What would that feel like? What would your body physically feel like? What would that do to your confidence, your self-esteem, right? What would that look like? Okay, and then that'll set up the actions. You will start taking actions of someone that's released 100 pounds. You could do it with your relationships. You can do it with anything. It's the exact same process, because at the end of the day, your current situation, regardless of what it is because you thought about it. You thought about it, and then you like got really comfortable and just like settled in for the long haul. It's not necessarily your fault that you did that. We talk about paradigms. We understand how they're formed, right? But it's your responsibility to change it. If you don't like it, only you can change it, because your life is a reflection of you. It's not a reflection of anybody else. I know. For me, that was a big like pill to swallow. Still get stuck right about here sometimes. That responsibility, right? That's the way your life will get better and better, though. You might say, oh, I've tried that already. I know, I get it. You've likely heard me, maybe my mentor, Bob Proctor, talk about this. And then you never actually took action into it. You're like, oh, that makes sense. But then you didn't take action, right? We've all done it. I did it. I've been exposed to this material for like 15 years. And it wasn't until the last 3 that I started being more intentional with it. You've been exposed to this over and over again. You're even listening to this right here, right now for a reason. If you pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you, you'll know that you can finally have your breakthrough. Because here's the bottom line: to break out of old patterns and realize a goal that's been escaping you, you must raise your level of awareness. It's not a maybe, kind of, sorta, that'd be nice. It's mandatory. Because there are 7 levels of awareness or consciousness. Our goal as humans, whether you realize it or not, is to get to level 7. Don't worry, I'll dive into these 7. There's animal, mass, aspiration, individual, discipline, experience, and mastery. Okay? I'm going to cover those. But every person on the planet primarily functions in kind of the first 2 levels. And they're functioning, and they're grateful for what they have. They know they're made for more, but they're just, I'm so lucky to have a job. Friggin' hate it, but I'm lucky to have a job. I'm lucky to have a roof over my head. It's leaking, but I'm lucky to have it. And they feel like they can't have more and be grateful for what they currently have. So it causes this friction. Right? The majority of people are functioning on this very low level of awareness. But according to where we are in our lives at any given time, we can bounce back and forth between the levels too. But the goal is to move out of the lower levels of consciousness. The goal is to get to mastery. That's when you are in control of your life and you respond to what's going on rather than reacting to it. Do you some days go, God, I felt like a firefighter today. I was just putting out fires left, right, and center. This happened, got that put out, and then this happened, and then that, and that's how you function on a day-to-day basis. That's not how we're meant to function, though. I know, right? The goal is to move out of those lower levels, get to that mastery, and that's when you are in control. So I want to take a look at each level, and I want you to really pay attention to what role each level plays in your life. Okay, as I go through each one, see if you can identify which level you function at most of the time. Okay, so level 1 is animalistic. Okay, the dog sitting at my feet, hanging out here, but so are like some humans, right? At this level, you are in fight or flight mode. You allow your current circumstances, not your goals, not your desires, not what you actually want, but you let your current circumstances dictate your life. You react to whatever's going on around you. Take it as it comes. Take it as it comes. But you're always just taking it as it comes, and you're not moving yourself forward. Okay? So that's level 1. Level 2 is mass. This is where the majority of people are hanging out. Like 80, I don't have actual statistics on this, but like a good chunk. Like it's not just 50% of the population, like a good chunk of the population. Okay? At this level, this is where you follow the crowd rather than doing your own thinking and setting your own goals. And the reason most people are hanging out here is because as humans, we want to fit in. So we conform rather than tapping into our creativity. You don't consciously choose to hang out here, right? You don't consciously choose to hang out here. This is your paradigm, okay? Your paradigm rules this level. Okay, absolutely rules it. My kids are trying to call me at the same time as I'm live. So this is where you get to actually pay attention. And you might not even be thinking, you're like, I'm not a follower, I'm a leader. Are you? Are you leading your life, or like the job that you're in? Did you get it? You fell into it, and then someone that's been working there for 1,000 years trained you in it, and now you're just doing what they're doing. Every once in a while, you'll move someone forward. You'll move the organization forward. But you're really just grooming yourself to maybe climb the ladder. Right? Like you're living off of other people's goals. Okay? So level 3 is aspiration. So you might follow the crowd for years, but at some point, something in you wants something better, something greater than what you have. You know you are capable of more. Many people become stuck at this level, though, because their new desire, they're just wishes. It's just wishful thinking. Wouldn't I be lucky if that happened? Until they don't actually take action on it, okay? Fear, doubt, worry kick in, and they retreat back to where the masses are hanging out. By the time I get to talk to you guys, a lot of people that I've done calls with, they're hanging out in level 3. They're like aspiring for something more. But then fear. Oh my gosh, what did she just ask me to do? And you retreat. Then there's level 4. At this level, you want to express your uniqueness as a human being. And you begin to dream. No more hopeful wishes. You are dreaming. And you realize that there is no one like you. And you have these unique gifts. But every time you start to move forward, your paradigm pulls you back to like level 2, back to the masses, right? And the desire kind of remains, like it's there, but you just keep going back, going back to safety. You get locked into this kind of tug of war with your paradigm, and it continues to pull you back. Guys, there's 7 levels. We only hit level 4, right? Many of you have probably hit level 4 before. You're like, woo, I've done that. Awesome. These next 3 levels, this is hashtag life goals, okay? Level 5 is discipline. Here you realize that the only way to move towards your goal is to give yourself a command and follow it. Give yourself a command to your subconscious and follow it. Like actually do what you say you're going to do, regardless of what's going on around you. Okay? But even in this level, as soon as you start to do it, your paradigm, man, strong, so strong. And before long, it starts to kind of dissipate, right? And your discipline then turns into a wish. You're freaking stuck again, right? You've got to train yourself to follow a command and to overpower your freaking paradigm. Otherwise, you're destined to keep doing what you've been doing and getting what you've been getting. So when your discipline starts to kind of falter, you have to literally, like my paradigm's name is Linda. I'm like, listen, Linda, listen. No way. I got this. I'm doing this. I got you. Take a seat, right? And then you step out and you do it again. And you keep doing it until your paradigm, that belief that whatever's holding you back, it dies from lack of nourishment. But it will work only if your goal is something you really want. And if you can get through level 5 into level 6 is experience. When you apply persistence and discipline, hold it with your will, and you see the desired results start to manifest, then it's reinforced, right? Everything that you've been doing is start to be reinforced, and your awareness, and you have this like unreal awareness of all of your abilities. And then you start doing more of the same. Experiential learning, this is real learning. Like I can teach you about it. I can tell you some really awesome books to read. Tons of them. But until you experience, like actually hold, like knowing that you held a thought in your mind and took action on it and like created, like you actually intentionally created the results that you want versus your paradigm, like your habitual thinking. Guys, it's like next level. It's incredible. It's this rush. And then you get to do it again. But this time you're coming at it with a new level of awareness. At this level, you know that all the answers that you are looking for can be found within you versus outside of you. Guys, this is coming from the person that my answer to everything was, I guess I better go back to school. And then I ended up this person with all these letters at the end of her name that I didn't actually know anything. Not anything that was going to get me where I wanted to go. It got me a great job. Making $100K a year, comfortable, pension, benefits, all the things, but it's not what I wanted, right? So this is where you can be grateful for what you have. I'm super grateful for that experience. Absolutely. But it was that, like, I knew it wasn't going to get me to where I want to go. Where I want to go is 7. Level 7, baby. Mastery. Okay? And it's at this level that you are responding and not reacting. You know how to think properly, and you can take the actions every single time that give you your desired results. Every single time. So cool. You're no longer controlled by your habits, the ones that don't serve you. We're always controlled by habits, but we're not controlled by the ones that don't serve us. And you've learned the laws of the universe, and you understand how this science works. You've used your experience to fine-tune how you're manifesting. All the techniques. And you're crushing goals like boom, 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 boom. Things that you thought would have taken you 10 years, you're getting done in 1. Right? Only a small percentage of the population reaches this point. But we all have the mental faculties and the capacity to get there. Every single one of us. My goal is to, like, we're talking like 1% of the population gets here. I want to help widen that. That's ridiculous. We all are made of the same stuff, and yet only 1% of the population gets it. That's crazy. Enter Delin. And so many awesome people that are in this. I never realized how big the mindset community was until I got into it. Now I'm like, dang, that's awesome. And now I like hang out with all these super aware people, right? And it just keeps me in that level. Like I can say, I for sure, for the majority of my life, was hanging out in level 2, 100%. I'd have a level 3, maybe a level 4. Like I knew I was unique. I was confident in that. But like level 2, 3, and 4 was where I was hanging out. It's only been, and I had successes in level 4, but then I'd get comfortable there and I wouldn't go for more because I didn't know how. I didn't realize what I was doing. Now that I know, it's like, oh, I got this, right? And now I hang out with people that are a level 5, 6, and 7. Like you're the average of the people you hang out with, the top 8 people. My people are 5, 6, and 7. Who are your people? What's your environment? And again, it's knowing this that really motivated me to create things like the High Vibe Society. So the High Vibe Society, if you're not aware, it's a private group that we have of people that are not only doing the things to raise their own vibration, but we raise each other's vibration because that's who we hang out with. We study together every day. We read together. We grow together. It's awesome. DM me if you want info, or you can find it on my website. But the only thing stopping you from being the captain of your own ship is you. You have to keep studying and writing out your goals and focusing on what you want. And in that point, that's when your awareness will increase. And each new level of awareness brings different conditions, different circumstances. And you'll notice your environment start to change. I was intentional with my growth. If you look at my bank statement from the last 4 years, you will see that I've invested in this space. I will always have a coach, always. Because I know, and I've seen it. I like the accountability that it brings. And as you adapt to these changes, you'll then be able to see that next step of where you're supposed to go. You can see how to get to the goal from where you are now. But every time you take a step ahead, you're going to get new results, and then you can see where to go to get to the next. But right now, a higher side of you is urging you to create. And your paradigm is nagging you relentlessly, wanting you to stay the same, wanting you to stay safe. And it's your choice. It's literally your choice. Like, I can talk to you about this right now, but I can't decide for you. But it comes down to decision. Everything starts with it. In life, we either create or we disintegrate. But it's not meant to be overcomplicated. It literally comes down to those two things. Are you creating right now? Are you creating and being intentional with your thinking? And if you don't know how to do that, ask for help. I remember asking my mentor, Bob, saying, do you know anybody? He's been studying this stuff for over 60 years. Have you ever met anybody that's done it on their own? He said no. And I'm a testament of that. I read all the books, did all the courses, took all the free stuff that I could. But it wasn't until I dove in and said, F it. I'm investing in myself. I'm getting a mentor. I'm getting a coach. And I'm going to do this. That's when I changed my results. And I know now I can't go back. I couldn't go back to level 2 or 3 or 4 if I tried. Not even close. Not even close. Couldn't even. That's what you deserve, to hang out in level 5, 6, and 7. So when you're ready to do that, I'm going to link up my calendar and I want you to book a call and we'll see if we're a good fit. Because I'm not for everyone, that is for sure. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have an incredible day. I've absolutely loved talking about this. I'm so passionate about it. And if you have any questions, reach out, but schedule a call. I look forward to chatting with you. Hello there. Hey, Julie. Hey, Gavin. You guys are rock stars.